I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes of your time telling you about a city and telling you about a radio station. And it's very important that I tell you about both because they're both together, you see, and they're sort of involved. And the city is San Francisco, and the station is KSFO. You know, San Franciscans take kind of a pride in their city, so we give them the sounds of the city. The distant call of foghorns by the Golden Gate. Kids playing in the park. The activity of people and traffic homeward bound at the end of the day. All the reflection of these sounds can be found on
KSFO San Francisco.
KSFO, the sound of the city. The one station in San Francisco that does have a San Francisco feel. And behind it, and under it, and beside it, and on top of it, and all around it, is vitality. And this is the most important thing in show business of any kind, vitality.
KSFO.
That station break you heard was the first of its kind in radio broadcasting. It's an all-male a cappella choir singing the station ID and setting the mood and the feel of the overall station sound, and you've got to admit that it's a pretty smooth sound. The complete sound of KSFO can't be captured on a short tape like this one, but one man who's never at a loss for words on his top-rated morning show is me. Well, Nat King Cole, for heaven's sakes, how are you this morning?
I'm just fine, thank you very much.
I wake up at dawn. No, that's the wrong key, Nat. Old Nat. I wake up at dawn. And what does he do? Laugh at the sun. I wake up at dawn. Laugh at the sun. Laugh like a loon. Everything is fun. It's crazy. This guy called up here. Did a Crash Footlocker show. Want some bull scores? I got some for you there. Okay, here are the scores. There's 3-8. That's a good one. 4-9 there. 5-2. There's a good score. And 2-1. That was a pretty exciting game. The weather, fair today. I think we play pretty doggone good music on KSFO, too. In fact, the best and the tastiest in the popular field. Frank Sinatra, Ray Conniff, Perry Como, Peggy Lee, Nat King Cole, the class acts. You know, we've done a lot of thinking about the music. We've done a lot of thinking, and we're not pushed from one side to the other by all of a sudden a big surge in the direction of rock and roll or a big surge in the direction of this. We think we've got a pretty good idea of what the average person in this city and surrounding area likes to hear.
KS, KSF, KSFO, KSFO San Francisco, 560,
Al Collins here, playing a couple for you. Hey, here comes a Punchy. Hey, that's a pretty good. You want to say hello to Len? He's in New York. What do you want from New York? You wanted some hot dogs from Nathan's, huh? You want a cheesecake from the Turf? What else you want? A copy of the New York Times. All right, what else you want? You want a picture of a subway? What kind of a subway? An A train between 125th and 59th Street. All right, he'll do it.
Of course, KSFO does its public service job, too, and it's done with an idea of giving it greater impact and the feeling of immediacy. This is, once again, the vital aspect of things. Traffic safety, for instance, is presented in a series of on-the-spot recordings.
I've seen some cases of reckless driving, boy, but you have just shown me about the utmost. What are you trying to prove out here?
Well, that guy was smarting off with me.
Smarting off with you? 90 miles an hour, neck and neck, side by side, not 6 inches between you. You passed that poor fellow back there on the right-hand side. three of you abreast on a two-lane.
I know. This guy was trying to shove us off the road.
Shove you off the road. I've never seen anything like the conniptions this car went through. You pulled about 3 Brodies back there. Going this way down the highway, it looked like you'd lost control.
It did. I have a broken sway bar.
And you just keep pouring the coal on, do you? Oh, I don't figure you, mister.
Not a pleasant sound, is it? But it is one of the sounds of the city.
So all in all, I think we got a pretty good combination. There's Del Courtney, or Mr. Music, as he's known in the Bay Area. The reason he's known as Mr. Music is because they don't really know him. I mean, the guy is, he shouldn't be...
And today's sounds are from the San Francisco of August in the year of 1918, when our city was hearing that Stanford University was willing to resume playing football against the University of California only if Cal agreed to stop using professional coaches. Also in that year, can you remember the big song that people were humming along the streets of San Francisco? Well, this was the great song from one of the shows on Broadway called The Passing Show of 1918. See if you remember this tune.
There are smiles.
You know something about KSFO2 that I think you'll get a kick out of? Are the IDs, the station identifications that we've done here in a comedy vein. Take a listen to these.
Sherwood is 6'1". Aaron Edwards is 5'10". Dick Cook is 5'11". Del Courtney, same size. Jim Lang is 6'3". Jim Sparrow is 5
Hey,
foot...
wait, what are you doing that for?
Well, I figured if you stack them up, KSFO has 123 feet of talent.
My name is Jimenez. I like to say that Don Sherwood is the world's greatest disc hockey. But I got too much integrity to do that.
Well, there isn't a radio station in the world that doesn't have news, but I think we can really own up to the fact that when it's news, you'll hear it first on KSFO.
Right now we pause to see what's new.
Here's KSFO News, the 1 o'clock report, brought to you by Beneficial...
Covey leads away. Friend delivers to the plate. Here's a long drive to deep left field going far back, and you can tell that one bye-bye, baby. As Orlando Cepeda tagged a long, high drive up into the trees to the right.
I don't think there's a guy anywhere, let alone the guys in San Francisco, that don't dig sports. And boy, we got sports if we got sports. We got the Giants, the 49ers, the University of California basketball and football teams, and telling all about what they're doing right here on KSFO. Told by Russ Hodges, Lon Simmons, Bill King, Bob Fouts, and Bob Bloom. So we got the sporting picture pretty well captured. You've got to admit that. And a little earlier, I was talking about the business of getting the guy home. You know, he could start out from San Francisco in his job and maybe not get there till the day after tomorrow if it weren't for Jim Lang, because Jim Lang comes on in the afternoon and tells him where to go. And not many people will hold still for that. But the way Jim does it's kind of smooth and gets the job done.
And now, once again, let's take a look at the Bay Area traffic from the KSFO Commute Club. In San Francisco at 3rd and Oakdale, traffic is very heavy in all directions. On the Bay Bridge, traffic is still very heavy, and the eastbound diversion allowing you to take the lower deck is in effect. You may do so. In San Francisco, there's a possible fire at Hyde and Greenwich. Units are responding, and there should be some congestion on the scene in just moments. And down in Santa Clara County, the San Jose Highway Patrol reports an accident northbound just south of the Moffett Field gates. That must be on the Bay Shore. As soon as we get further details, we'll pass it along. And there you have an up-to-the-minute look at the road ahead.
And then later on, we got a guy that we laughingly around here call the KSFO intellectual, Jim Sparrow. And he continues the whole thing. He also bowls. That's about it.
And good evening, Jim Sparrow. Oh, what a wonderful day. The Giants won that game 2-1 in the ninth inning, thanks to Sam Jones. And speaking of sports, don't forget tonight, KSFO's
personnel will be indulging in America's favorite indoor sport, bowling. And all the boys will be down there. Jim Lang will be there, Bob Hanson, Dick Cook will be on hand, yours truly, and, of course, Aaron Edwards, and we're mighty proud of Aaron. Last week, he had a 300 series. It took him 3 games to do it, but he bowled 300, so we expect great things from Aaron. That's tonight at the Downtown Bowl. Right now, it's music, and this is Harry James.
The evening hours on KSFO, you got the great music, and, in my personal opinion, and I think in yours too, if you were here to listen to him, the great interviews of Art Finley. His guests range from film stars to top names in the news, authors, and you name it.
KSFO in San Francisco.
This is Mayor George Christopher, who is at this moment making plans for an air trip to Moscow, Russia. Mayor Christopher, welcome to KSFO.
Well, thank you, Art. It's a pleasure to be with you. And first...
On into the early morning hours, where the night sounds of the city are presented in kind of a unique style by another new voice on KSFO.
Sophisticated lady done in the alveola manner. You're listening with Herb Kennedy to Music on Night Sounds, brought to you by Burgermeister Brewing Corporation. The hours when the theater audience has left their seats and the stage at the Geary, emptied of its players, stands waiting for tomorrow's overture. The night is filled with the talk of the people on their way to restaurants or on their way home. These are the night sounds of the city, heard on KSFO.
That's old Herbie Babe, Herb Kennedy. So you can see the sounds of the city are heard around the clock on KSFO. They're new sounds, they're old sounds, they're exciting sounds, they're vital sounds. And I think this is the important thing. KSFO is alive 24 hours of the day. And I think that's why people tune to us, for the vitality and the interest. I know you would if you lived in San Francisco, because it's the thing to do. Yes, I think most San Franciscans listen to KSFO because it is the sound of the city.
The sound of the city, the sounds that are heard in San Francisco are mixed with daylight's glimmering rays and moonbeams shimmering glow. When darkness settles on the city, homeward people on their way, chimes ringing softly in the stillness, fog creeping slowly across the bay. Hear the sound of the city, the sounds that are heard in San Francisco on KSFO.